Hey everyone, Aaron here from MTGChallengers, and welcome to another Magic the Gathering gameplay. Today we have Cole playing USA Conrol going up against me playing Golgari Devotion. Cole was on the play for game 1 and took a mulligan down to 6 cards. He started things off with a Temple of Enlightenment, allowing him to scry. He chose to leave the top card where it was. I played a Swamp and cast a Thoughtseize. Cole revealed a Plains, an Island, a Hallowed Fountain, a Supreme Verdict, and a Mizzium Orders. I chose to get rid of the Verdict and lost 2 life going to 18. Cole played a Temple of Epiphany on his next turn, scrying once again and again chose to leave the card on top. I just played an Overgrown Tomb tapped and passed the turn. Cole played an Island and also passed. I just played another Swamp. Cole played a Plains and cast a Jace, Architect of Thought. He used his -2 ability to reveal the top 3 cards of his library, which were a Plains, another Jace, and a Temple of Enlightenment. I put Jace in a pile of his own, which Cole chose to take. I laid down another Swamp and cast an Underworld Connections, enchanting my untapped Swamp. Cole chose to kill his Jace on his next turn to -2 again, revealing a Dissolve, another Temple, and an Assemble the Legion. I put the Legion on its own, which Cole chose to take. He then played a Hallowed Fountain untapped, going to 18, and cast the Assemble the Legion. I paid a life to draw a card with my connections at the end of his turn. I played another Swamp and cast a Desecration Demon. On Cole's upkeep, he put a muster counter on the Legion and got a 1/1 soldier token with haste. He cast a second Jace, using his -2 again, revealing a Supreme Verdict, a Sphinx's Revelation, and a Steam Vents. I put the Revelation on its own, so Cole took the Verdict and the Vents. He then played the Steam Vents tapped and passed the turn. I went to 16 to draw a card again. I played yet another Swamp and cast a Grey Merchant of Asphodel. It hit for 6, taking me up to 22 and dropping Cole to 12. At the beginning of combat, Cole chose to sacrifice his token, tapping down the demon, and it got a +1/+1 counter. On his next upkeep, Cole got 2 tokens. He then killed the merchant with the Mizzium Orders. He finished off his Jace with yet another -2, revealing another Verdict, a Sacred Foundry, and an Elspeth, Sun's Champion. I put Elspeth on her own, so Cole chose the bigger pile. He then played the Foundry tapped and cast a Detention Sphere to exile my Underworld Connections. I went to 21 and drew a card in response. He finished things off by attacking with his 2 soldiers, taking me to 19. I laid down a Temple of Malady, scrying, and chose to send the top card to the bottom. I then played a second demon. Before combat, I used a Bile Blight to kill the 2 soldiers, which allowed me to hit Cole in the face for 7, dropping him to 5. Cole got 3 tokens this upkeep. He drew another Detention Sphere, which he used to exile both demons. He then swung with his tokens for 3, taking me to 16. I cast another Grey Merchant on my next turn. I didn't have anything else on the field, but it still hit for its own 2 Devotion, dropping Cole to 3 and taking me up to 18. Cole got 4 tokens at his upkeep. He killed my merchant with another Mizzium Orders and swung with all of his 7 tokens. I used another Bile Blight to kill all of them, and he passed the turn. I played another Swamp and attempted to resolve another Underworld Connections, but Cole countered it with a Dissolve. He got to scry from it, sending the top card to the bottom. He got 5 tokens this upkeep and swung with them, taking me to 13. I played an Overgrown Tomb tapped and cast a Pack Rat. Cole got 6 tokens this upkeep for a total of 11. He then swung with 9 of them. I discarded a Devour Flesh to copy the rat, allowing me to block and kill 2 of the tokens and took 7, going to 6. I just top decked a Swamp on my next turn, so I scooped, giving Cole the win and taking us to game 2. Welcome to Game 2. I was on the play and started things off with a Temple of Malady, scrying, and kept the card on top. Cole played a Temple of Triumph, scrying for himself, and set the top card to the bottom. I played a Swamp and cast a Pack Rat. Cole played a Sacred Foundry tapped and passed. I played a Mutavault and cast a second Pack Rat. I then animated my Mutavault and swung with the first rat for 3, taking Cole to 17. He just played a Hallowed Fountain tapped and passed. I animated my Mutavault and swung with everything for 8, taking Cole to 9. He shocked himself for a Steam Vents on his next turn and cast a Supreme Verdict, wiping the board. I played an Overgrown Tomb tapped and cast a Lifebane Zombie. I knew I wouldn't be able to exile anything, but it still allowed me to look at Cole's hand, which consisted of 2 Dissolves, 2 Jace, Architect of Thought, a Sacred Foundry, and a Sphinx's Revelation. Cole killed the zombie on his next turn with a Mizzium Orders. He played the Sacred Foundry tapped before passing it back. I played a second Mutavault. I then cast an Underworld Connections on one of my swamps. Cole cast a Jace Architect of Thought on his next turn. He used his -2 ability to reveal the top 3 cards of his library, a War Leader's Helix, a Supreme Verdict, and an Elspeth Sun's Champion. I put Elspeth in a pile of her own, which Cole decided to take. I went to 19 to draw a card with my connections at the end of his turn. For my next combat, I animated and attacked with both of my Mutavaults, sending one at Jace and one at Cole. Jace died and Cole took 2, going to 5. He just played a Temple of Enlightenment on his next turn, scrying and sent the top card to the bottom. I swung for 4 with my Mutavaults next turn, taking Cole to 1 life. He cast an Elspeth Sun's Champion, getting 3 1/1 soldiers. He then played a Temple of Triumph, leaving the card on top. I drew with my connections at the end of his turn. I was able to finish him off with a Grey Merchant of Asphodel, giving me the win and taking us to Game 3. Welcome to Game 3. Cole was on the play and played a Temple of Enlightenment, scrying, and chose to send the top card to the bottom. I played an Overgrown Tomb untapped, going to 18 and cast a Thoughtseize. Cole revealed 2 Steam Vents, a Mizzium Mortars, a Sacred Foundry, a Jace Architect of Thought, and an Island. I got rid of the Jace and lost another 2 life. Cole just played a Steam Vents tapped. I played a Temple of Malady, scrying, and sent the top card to the bottom. Cole played an Island. I played a Swamp and cast a Pack Rat. He used a Mizzium Mortars to kill it on his next turn and played a Sacred Foundry tapped. I played another Overgrown Tomb tapped this time and passed it back. Cole played a Steam Vents untapped, losing 2 life, and cast a Keranos, God of Storms. At the end of his turn, I was able to cast an Unravel the Aether, forcing him to shuffle it back into his library. I cast a Whip of Erebos and passed it back. Cole just drew and passed. For my next turn, I cast a Mistcutter Hydra, which entered with 5 +1/+1 counters. I then swung with it, taking Cole to 13. I also gained 5 life from the Whip, going to 21. It did have protection from blue, but Cole was still able to get rid of it with a Supreme Verdict on his next turn. I cast a Grey Merchant of Asphodel, which hit for 4, taking me to 25 and bringing Cole down to 9. He used a Deicide to exile my Whip on his next turn. I cast another Thoughtseize on my next turn. Cole revealed 2 Dissolves, a Fated Retribution, and an Elspeth. Since he didn't have the resources to cast Elspeth or the Retribution, I chose to get rid of one of the Dissolves and lost 2 life, going to 23. I hit Cole with my Merchant for 2, taking him to 7. Cole just drew and passed. I took him to 5 with my Merchant on my next turn. He was able to cast and assemble the Legion. However, I played another Swamp and cast a Vraska the Unseen, allowing me to use her -3 ability to blow it up. I then hit him for another 2, taking him to 3. Cole didn't draw anything to stay alive, so he scooped it up, giving me the win to the game and the match. So that's it for this gameplay. If you enjoyed it, be sure to check out our others. If you'd like the lists for these decks, click the annotation or check the description box for links to the deck techs. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the Facebook page, and consider making a donation to support the continuation of this project. Thanks for visiting, and if you like what you see, subscribe for more Magic the Gathering content.